Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to stand at the edge of time itself? Not the end of a life, but the end of the ticking clock that measures all things. What if there was a final morning, a last sunrise before the cosmic pendulum simply stopped? Imagine a world holding its breath caught in a single unending moment. This is the story of the last morning, a dawn painted in colors never seen before, a quiet prelude to the great stillness. We've always measured existence by the movement of celestial bodies, the spin of our planet, the journey around the sun. But what happens when that measurement ceases to matter? On this morning, the sun rose as a soft golden tear in the sky, promising not a new day, but the perfection of a single, eternal one. The world was hushed. No sirens, no traffic, no birds, only a profound, peaceful silence. It was as if everything from atom to galaxy knew what was about to happen. There was no fear, only awe, a sense of connection to everything. This last morning was an invitation to let go of the relentless march of time, to simply be, to witness the final beautiful breath of a world defined by change. The final tick was not an end, but the beginning of something else entirely. The city, once bustling, now looked like a dream, glass and gold, bathed in the surreal light of the final dawn. Skyscrapers, softened by glowing fog, reached for the sky with quiet acceptance. Streets below shimmered, mirroring the golden hues above. Every window became a portal into memory. Echoes of laughter, love, and solitude flickered within the glass. The city had become a museum of its own past, every surface holding a story. Buildings stood as silent storytellers, holding the collective soul of humanity. Light bent around corners, casting long, soft shadows that seemed alive. Walking these empty streets was like moving through a painting, no sound, only stillness. You were not an intruder, but a final witness to serene beauty. The city of glass and gold was a breathtaking, silent farewell. Though the world was silent, if you truly listened, you could hear whispers on the wind. Not words, but feelings and memories carried on gentle air. The wind was the planet's final exhalation, a release of all the stories it had held. It was a warm breeze, weaving through towers and plazas, carrying the scent of every memory. The whispers formed patterns, ghosts of conversations, echoes of laughter, notes of old songs. It was the sound of connection, the invisible threads binding us all, now audible in the final moments. The wind was a messenger, carrying the collective consciousness of humanity. The whispers were a lullaby for a world about to fall into perfect, eternal peace. The clocks, relentless masters of our lives, were the first to surrender. All across the world the ticking began to slow, not a sudden stop but a graceful unwinding. Second hands swept in slow arcs, minute hands hesitated, savoring each final movement. Digital displays flickered, numbers dissolving into abstract light. The great clockwork of the universe slowed its magnificent dance. Time was dissolving like sugar in water, becoming one with what it once measured. For so long, we were servants to the clock. Now we were set free. The slowing of the clocks was a liberation, a shedding of artificial constraints. As the hands came to rest, a new kind of time began, a vast, open landscape of now. Every moment that had ever been, and could ever be, now existed in this eternal present. The unwinding of the clocks was the key to this new reality. The world had become a mirror, every surface holding a reflection with impossible clarity. Streets mirrored the golden sky, puddles became windows into the cosmos. Your own reflection was startling, not just who you were, but who you had been and could be. All your possible selves gathered to witness this moment. Reflections were emotional, joy, regret, hope, all held in the quiet stillness. The world offered a final opportunity for introspection, a chance to see your life's totality. No judgment, only gentle acceptance. A silent conversation with your soul. The universe was folding in on itself, consolidating memories, gathering stories. The reflections were a symbol of cosmic self-awareness. The world was a mirror, and in it, we saw everything. From forgotten books, unsent notes, and old emails, words began to lift and float into the air. Letters, then sentences, drifted like autumn leaves, swirling through streets and buildings. The air became a living library, a three-dimensional poem of all words ever written. Floating words arranged into fleeting phrases. I love you. Forgive me. Thank you. It was the collective voice of humanity, expressed in a silent ballet of typography. The words were the ghosts of our thoughts, now visible for all to see. You could reach out and touch them, each word humming with emotion. The barriers between symbol and meaning dissolved. Words became the feeling itself. This was a final, beautiful tribute to the power of language. The floating letters were the last poem, a final love letter to humanity. The scale of the universe began to collapse. The very large and the very small became one. Looking into a teacup, you saw a swirling miniature galaxy. The cosmos was no longer distant. It was here, intimate and accessible. Patterns of frost became alien coastlines. Wood grain flowed like gas clouds. A puddle shimmered like a supernova. The boundaries between macrocosm and microcosm vanished. To look at a grain of sand was to see a billion suns. To gaze at the sky was to see an atom structure. This merging of scales brought a deep sense of unity. You were not just in the universe, you were the universe. Stardust flowed through your veins, the laws of planets danced in your neurons. The galaxy in the teacup was a symbol. Divinity is everywhere, in everything. The universe revealed its deepest secret, a single, magnificent, interconnected whole. As time's unwinding reached its end, the sun began its final act. A single, brilliant ray detached and descended, illuminating everything it touched. It was warm and inviting, transforming all into a state of perfect, eternal form. The ray touched skyscrapers, making them luminous and crystalline. It swept across the city, fixing floating letters, perfecting mirrored streets, freezing every leaf in mid-air grace. This was not destruction, but preservation, a sculptor's final touch. The ray was the fixative, transitioning the world from becoming to being. Everything it touched was elevated, perfected, made eternal. The world became a work of art, a timeless monument to itself. The light washed over you. All questions answered, all fears dissolved. You became the city, the sky, the light, the silence. You were everything. As the light enveloped you, the last vestiges of time faded away. And then, there is only silence. Not emptiness, but a new kind of presence, full, profound, and still. The city stands forever in the light of the eternal dawn. Letters hang suspended, the galaxy swirls in the teacup. There is no more before or after, only is. The past and future are held, perfect and complete, within this moment. The river of time has become a great, still lake. This is not an end, but a transformation, a shift from story to painting, from song to a single, perfect chord. The universe has found its final, most beautiful form, pure, silent being. The anxiety of becoming is over, the peace of simply being has begun. There is only the quiet awe of existence itself. Let the silence fill you, perhaps here you will find what was sought all along. A moment of perfect peace, a final, silent, beautiful now.